Happy Sunday, team. All right, so you wanted a free market, did you? Well, welcome to the new world in Bitcoin, which exists with big institutional players ready to make big moves. Here's the great news about the free market of Bitcoin. It will always be right. Although people will attempt to manipulate it, long-term manipulation will not be possible. However, we need to expect, now that Wall Street's coming into the game, they've come in, they've told us they're coming. What are they going to do? What tactics are they going to use? How can they beat the average person with Bitcoin, especially this entry into Bitcoin? And what I'm going to show you today is evidence. I don't know this for a fact, but we have very strong evidence of what has taken place. And I think we can expect more of the same, frankly, in the near future as Wall Street begins to enter Bitcoin. So let's take a look at what's happening here. And we're going to zoom in and zoom out on this. And the reason for that whole concept, and let's get the chart as big as we can here. Okay. So take a look at this. So this is Bitcoin. This is the hourly chart. And if we zoom out a little bit, we can see we came up here. We made this almost 65,000 not that long ago. This was just a few days ago. Almost at 65,000. That was a new all-time high. And since then, you saw, we had this downtrend, which accelerated. And that was the thing that concerned me. When we saw this little downtrend going, coming back, and we'll look on the zoomed out charts here in a second. Now I looked at this and went, okay, short term, we could see things go lower. And then when we saw that accelerate here, all right, that was when I got worried, when we started kind of putting this little top in right here. And this is what happened next. So what was happening is we were seeing consistent selling pressure, okay, setting up a bunch of leveraged longs to get yoked out. And that's what this candle is right here. Look at this candle. Came all the way down to 50. What is this here? Still horizontal line here. Right there. 51,722. Look at this candle, which starts up at 59,000. So within 1 hour, okay, and this is why this is the evidence I'm talking about. In 1 hour, the price of Bitcoin went from 59,000 to $51,722. How is that possible? Well, this is basically just a shakeout. This is a capitulation. This is a trading move. This is one of the things that Wall Street does to take money from Main Street. They do it in stocks, volatile stocks all the time. It's a cleaning house. It's adjusting the price. It's creating a better entry point. And the way that they do this is, and mind you, this is why people don't like, Coinbase and some of these other companies like Binance. I'm not sure about that one in particular, but other, exchanges, custodians of the coins, if you will. They give their information to some of their bigger clients, especially the ones that allow the shorting of Bitcoin. In other words, selling it. And this is one of the things that ticks people off who are hardcore crypto is, hey, I'm leaving my coins with Coinbase or whoever. And I don't know if Coinbase does this either. I don't know which exchanges allow shorting, but I know there are several that do. And I leave my coins with them, and they're giving it to Wall Street or whoever these hedge funds are, these people who are trying to manipulate the market for their own benefit. They allow them to use my coins to sell in the open market, and then they replace them, of course. They have to buy back. That's how you close out a short trade. And what they do in this case is they're cascading stop losses, which are market orders. And you can tell this is done with market orders. Limit orders do not take you down this quickly. Limit order selling would not take you down this quickly. This is market order selling. Why would there be market order selling at this price point if it weren't stop losses being triggered? So let me explain to you what that is and why that's what this most likely was. And remember, Bitcoin is a totally free market. This tactic is used by Wall Street on stocks in the regulated stock market. So the unregulated Bitcoin market, this is absolutely fair game. It is going to happen. And this is why you should never trade leveraged positions. Okay, Michael Burry, who called the financial crisis in 2008, the mortgage crash, he doesn't like Bitcoin for one reason. there's a lot of leverage involved. A lot of these exchanges are allowing people to trade, a whole Bitcoin with only $5,000, in their account. And what happens is when they buy and they're leveraging up, so they're trading a whole Bitcoin, even though they have $5,000 and Bitcoin's $50,000, for example, they're getting 10-to-1 leverage. And so however, if their account gets to a certain balance, usually it's like $500 or $300 or whatever it is. Once your account gets to that point, they capitulate all of your positions. In other words, they market get out of your position. So if you're short, they market buy. If you're long, they market sell. And when you sell at the market price and a bunch of those get triggered all at once, you see exactly what this is right here. That's what this candle is. Let me see if I can zoom in better on this candle here. As I zoom in on, you can see how crazy this is from here to here. Just to give you a little bit better idea, I'll put it in yellow for you. That's the candle, all in 1 hour. Now, note when this was done. Let's get the timestamp here. Does it show us? This was 8 p.m. So this happened at 8 p.m. Pacific time on a Saturday night, okay, where there was a massive pay-per-view fight. That's what I was watching. I didn't see any of this. There was a UFC. It was just in general a Saturday night, 8 p.m. So that would be 11 Eastern. This is part of the reason why I also believe it was Wall Street, because it was done on like an American time zone. From like an American time zone perspective. They came in Saturday night. They crept in. They knew where all those market sell orders were. And that's the thing you got to realize about this. Before these guys pull off a move like this, they know where all the orders are. So when you are buying a leveraged long position, your stop loss order that automatically gets placed is known. That information is known. And the people who know that information, they will use it. And if they see a bunch of those stacking up, like if they start to see a whole bunch of these types of orders just stacked up in a certain area, they'll come attack it. And so they looked at this weakness, this acceleration and weakness here, and they went, all right, now's the time. It's Saturday night. There's a big fight. There's a couple big fights. There's stuff going on. And we think we can come in and we can liquidate these guys. So a bunch of people probably woke up today or maybe checked their accounts last night. They were long, leveraged, whatever, in Bitcoin, and find out that they got capitulated. Their money's all gone. And not only that, but this scares people. It causes people to go, you know what? I don't want to be in this. This is too crazy. I'm gonna get out. Wall Street wants in, so they want you out. They use fear. This is one of the tactics they use in trading to try to get you out. This is why, remember, Bitcoin is not something you should sell. Not anytime soon. Not until it hits $1 million. Don't sell it. Unless you have to. When you see a dip like this, buy the dip. Buy it. You have to buy a lot. I buy Bitcoin at 0.05 at a time, which is about, $2,000 to $3,000 depending upon the price. So when you see a dip, buy some more. If you can pull together $1,000, $500, whatever it is you can, buy it. Put it in there, add it, accumulate. Remember, this is a zero-sum game. There's only so much Bitcoin. And ultimately, it's going to go much, much higher. This type of tactic, and it's so obvious, especially doing it on Saturday night, doing it here where there's a lot of people leveraged long. Obviously, everyone thinks all these things are lining up. And I smelled something in the past week. All the news that had been coming out about Bitcoin was highly positive. Did you notice that? SEC chairman speaking on Bitcoin and saying it's a store of value, not a currency. Jerome Powell said some stuff that was a replacement for gold. You see all these different announcements about different Wall Street firms getting in, different hedge funds getting in, all this positive news. And remember, the big power in this world controls the media. And if they want in on something that you've got, this is part of how they do it. They provide a message that it's really, really, really strong and makes us all believe, man, this looks really, really, everything's lining up great for Bitcoin to take off. And then they come in and they attack it. Okay, that's their normal deal. They want you to get out of Bitcoin and into stocks because they want to sell you their stocks, they're long, and they want to buy your Bitcoin from you. That's what's going on right now. So that's the hourly chart. And all these poor people who got stopped out, market ordered, some of them are going to owe money because this is so violent. I mean, imagine if you were trading with $5,000, you're trading one BTC and you were long, and then this flashes down $9,000. You could owe your custodian $3 or $4 grand. So you put in 5,000, all you had, you went long Bitcoin. This is why you should never do that. Never do that. Take your 5,000 and just buy 1/10 of a Bitcoin. Okay. And then every time you save up, $500 or whatever, go in and buy more. That's the right move to make. Okay. Now let's take a look here. So as it stands right now, and keep in mind, Bitcoin can always go lower. There's so much, the uptrend, if you look at the weekly chart, which is what we'll do next. Actually, let's look at the daily. So here's the daily. I'll get rid of these so they're not too confusing. But you can see down here, the 100-day moving average right here, still well below. This is a previous marker here that we were looking at. We have the 50-day moving average and the 25 moving day average have been violated in this particular daily candle here. However, you can see, and this is part of why you have to pay closer attention than just looking at the hourly chart. You have to look at overall macro, what's really going on here, because what we have down here is we have, there's a higher low. Oops. Let's just get this on continuous, guys. Higher low, higher low. You see what's going on here? Higher low. And you always look at the close on these. So where's this going to close? That's the question. Where is this going to close? And we'll find out, in a matter of a few hours. Where is this candle going to close? Because if this can close still up here, let's say, where we have another higher low built in, because that ultimately would be a very, very bullish sign. The fact that we didn't make a higher high, like you can kind of see with Bitcoin here, it's like, okay, higher high, and then we don't make a higher high, but it's just sort of loading up here. And then we go and we do make the higher high, and then we don't, and then we don't, and then we do. Okay, so when you look at these highs, you can kind of see in the cycle, it just sort of does this. It likes to make a few moves before it goes and makes a new higher high. And these consolidation periods, if you look at them all, they're all reverse head and shoulders, patterns, which are very bullish patterns. So as of right now, this isn't necessarily super bearish yet. It's not super bearish yet, and it could be. It could get there, and if it does, my suggestion would be to cost average in. Same suggestion that I always have with Bitcoin, which is cost average in. So let's look at the Fibonacci here, and this is going to be. Oh, come on now. So you can see here the Fibonacci has been very violated. It is now floating down here beneath in the 618 to the 100. And so that's not great. If this were to pull up, though, closer to this yellow line here before the day is done, then it would still be sort of still full-blown bulls. Let's go. And, that would also potentially get us above, this 50-day moving average here. And so that's kind of what we need to see next. But, my suggestion is here, it's hard to say what'll happen. What is going on? But, that's what's going on. Now, if you look at the weekly, and I may need to get my draw rings out of here. If you look at the weekly for Bitcoin, you can see, there's still tons of separation from even the 50 period moving average. Or sorry, the 25. And then here's the 50. So there's a lot of room, to get down to these moving averages before, you would even say that anything crazy is really going on. This looks more, when you look at it this way, it looks more like a sideways move, right? This looks like more just like a consolidation area right here. It's really what it looks like. UG team. Oh gosh, so frustrating. Oh, come on, please. Anyway, so this looks like a more of a consolidation area, and that's good. Sideways action is really good. This helps the stabilization. The stabilization of Bitcoin needs sideways action. It needs sell-offs, and just know that this is where you're going to see the greatest transfer of opportunity is right here. There'll be people buying these dips. I mean, come Monday morning, I think you'll see a totally different picture here, but I could be wrong. We could sell off down into the 40s, no problem. Someone asked me, what are you going to do if Bitcoin goes to 40,000? And I said, I'll probably buy a whole coin if that happens. And I'd probably buy I'd probably jump in and buy a whole coin, or at least half a coin. I'll scrape the money together if I have to. I'll sell some shit if I have to. This is if you're an accumulator, if you're buying Bitcoin, what is going on? Why is everything acting so weird? Sorry about that. Do not know what is going on. All I was trying to do was just see on this. How's this set up? Okay, cool. It's an accumulation game is where I was at. Sorry, I'm having computer difficulties here. It really, really frustrates me. But it's a game of accumulation. So when it dips, this is a good time to buy. It's also, good just to buy regularly. Buy every week, however much you can afford. If you can afford $50 a week, set your Coinbase app up to buy $50 a week. That's all you have to do. Buy $50 a week. Buy $100 a week. Whatever it is that you can. You'll dollar cost average in, and these dips won't hurt so much. If you're leveraging and you're trying to trade Bitcoin, don't trade Bitcoin. In fact, don't trade anything. If you trade stuff, you will be susceptible to what we saw on the hourly. You will become a victim to something like this. There is no doubt about it. What we saw right here on this candle, you will lose. Wall Street is coming to the game. They are. And they will move this around using every tactic that they have. And this is just one of their old standard tactics. Because notice, they blew all these people out. And then what happened? Boom. It got bought up. And now we're creating a little reverse head and shoulders. If you forget about this candle right here, which you kind of have to do because obviously it's an anomaly, and we just say, you know what? Let's just look at this real quick. What is kind of forming right now? And the reverse head and shoulders, which is sort of the favorite pattern of Bitcoin, typically to go higher. Like that's typically the pattern that we see. It also likes a lot of bull flags. You see a lot of those with Bitcoin. And so it's just an hourly chart. If you look where we violated all the moving averages, those are all ahead of us. But if I'm right about the purpose here, if I'm right about the fact that this is Wall Street just basically trying to get in and ultimately manipulate this market so that they can get in at lower prices, so that they can scare people out, so that they can get people to sell who didn't want to sell, who now have to sell, shaking them out. Remember, they don't want you to own Bitcoin. They don't want you to be rich. They want all the money for themselves. And they'll do whatever they can to manipulate the market and try to scare people off. They want you to sell your Bitcoin. This is why the theme is HODL, however you want to pronounce it. Hold on. Keep your Bitcoin. Do not sell it. And this is a perfect opportunity to test everyone on this, and for you to ask yourself, how convicted are you here? If something like this causes you to go, I don't think I want to be in it, then number one, you don't get it. And number two, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you should just stack cash and hope for the best. But you should see this as an opportunity. See it for what it is. Wall Street is coming after this, and they're coming after it because they want it. They're not coming after it anymore the way they were. Wall Street was coming after Bitcoin for a decade, just trying to flick it away and go, it's crap, it's a scheme, because they were like, no one's going to understand this. They thought that they could get away with it that way. They thought that that would work. Now they've said, okay, well, we're coming to the party then. Now imagine when you throw a party and everything's going great for 10 years. And then all of a sudden those troublemakers show up. They look okay. They look like normal people, but the suits are here. The suits are here, and they will do all kinds of things to try to get their way. And they want to lower Bitcoin price right now. Listen, they're going to be buying Bitcoin for their, millionaire and billionaire clients. So if they're going to be buying Bitcoin for those people, they have to get a better entry. They can't say, hey, we got you in at 62.5. They want to be able to say, hey, we knocked it down into the mid 50s and got you in there. Meanwhile, they're making money on both sides of this. They're making money on this for sure, right? That's why you see the wick, because they're just getting right out of that. They start the cascade with a heavy market sell order, okay, and that's short, and that starts the cascade. Then boom, 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 boom. All the stops get hit, just blown up like explosions to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom. One explosion causes the next one. Boom, 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 boom. All the way down. People just getting blown out. And then as that's happening, they're throwing in the buy orders, right, to cover their short. They're buying. And then they bought it all the way back up to here. So it's just a simple move to move the price, about, what is that, $5,000? From 50, let's call it 59. To where they pulled it up to 56. It's about $4,000. Just to move the price that much and to shake these people out, to create fear. And who knows, this could be happening again. As long as there are people who are leveraged, highly leveraged, and long side, you're going to see that. Now, as Wall Street comes in, they will also help us with this on the other side. As they become long, and as their clients become long Bitcoin, or buy Bitcoin, then we'll see them actually give us protection on this. When a fund tries to come in and drop a huge short position or whatever, they'll try to blow them out on the high side. And so they eventually will protect us once they're in. But remember, they're not in yet, and they still have a few months to get in. So this could be the first of many attacks. I want to make that very clear. This could be the first of many similar attacks on Bitcoin. So be prepared. If you have the ability to raise some cash or allocate some cash, this might be a good time to put in, and this is one of my favorite things to do, and it really makes me mad that I didn't have anything on this. I had a lot of money last night on the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight, okay? Which, and I meant to do a video to tell you guys about it. I'm so sorry I didn't. But, oh yeah, I got paid fat. It was nice. But then I checked Bitcoin later in the evening. I was like, so I made all this money, betting on a fight, which I never bet on fights, but that one was the most obvious one of all time. Jake Paul's a boxer, Ben Askren's a wrestler. They're having a boxing match. Who's going to win? Super easy. But so I missed it. But what I like to do is I like to put in orders. So, and these are just limit orders that you can put in, and you can just put them in. I like to cascade those buy orders in, kind of like this. So in a typical situation, Binance, give me a break, guys. Come on, you're killing me. So I'll put like buy orders in underneath where the market is, like down here. I'll just put them at nice round numbers. 55,000, 54,500, 54,000, and just put small amounts, 0.02 Bitcoin. Or I usually buy 0.05 and 0.02, 0.01 Bitcoin, and just kind of scatter them. If you have cash in your account that you're waiting for a dip, go ahead and put those limit orders in, and it'll hold them there for you. So when something like this happens, you can get in there and you can buy. And so I'm expecting more of this because there's still a lot of leverage longs out there. They didn't get them all here. This may have even just been sort of a test to see what happens. It could be. They could just be testing it. Say, well, let's see if we drop $1 billion on it short. If we just dump it on a Saturday night, how many can we shake out? How much money can we make? How much can we move the market? And will it bounce right back? Will it be for naught, or can we then create a new layer and create a new level? Because they would like to get this thing down to one of those moving averages on the weekly. I'm sure of that. They would like to get Bitcoin down into the 30s or 40s so that they can really get their clients in at a good price. There's no question that is what would be ideal for all the Wall Street firms that want to get in on this, and for all of the municipalities and pension funds that they want to sell this to, and for the ETFs as well. When the ETFs come to market, they would like to come to market in a more of a buy signal situation. That's what they would prefer. So this could happen several more times, and I just want everyone to be prepared for that. However, keep in mind when you look at Bitcoin, and forgive the cat scratches there. When you look at Bitcoin, this is the monthly chart. Bitcoin's done very, very well every month for many months. Look how many months we've been green in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in the 7th month, we've got a red month. But also within that month, we made a new all-time high by a mile. So it's not all bad news. It's definitely not all bad news. But unless you zoom out on this thing, you will not really see what's actually happening. So I just wanted to get this video out there because a lot of people are concerned. I want to make sure that people don't panic and go, oh, the run's over. Bitcoin's dead. No, it's under attack, but it's not under attack the same way it was under attack in the past. In the past, Bitcoin was under attack because they wanted it gone. Now they want in. That's the difference. Wall Street wants in on Bitcoin, and they're going to do what they can to try to get there. So expect more of these flash crashes. Expect more of these typical Wall Street trading tactics late on a Saturday night, late on a Friday night, late on a Sunday night. They might do it again tonight, but Sunday night, traders tend to be more alive, looking, when futures start to trade and people start paying attention to the market. So Saturday night was the perfect time to do it because everyone's asleep at the wheel. And there's a bunch of events going on and things like that. So they're going to try to do more stuff like this early in the morning, late at night, whenever they think that there's something that they can take advantage of, they will. So that's why I opened the video with, you sure you wanted a free market? Because now you've got it. And the bullies are here. The people with the mega dollars who want to steal your Bitcoin from you, they're here. And this is the kind of stuff they're going to do. So just expect more of it and be prepared. Know that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. This is unless you already have all the Bitcoin you want to have. If you're in that situation, then you may think that this sucks. But if you're like me and you're like, gosh, I don't have half the Bitcoin that I wish I had, then these types of opportunities are great to continue to accumulate. How much can you accumulate, of Bitcoin without putting yourself in a bad position? If it's $100 a week, $1,000 a week, you can set it up, those automatic buys. That's the best way to go about it. And then when you see things like this happen, go ahead and make a special additional buy. Boom, get in there. Let's see here. Interesting comment. Giants ban. Sorry. He says, look at the euro, United States dollar on Binance. Okay. I definitely will. I'm not quite sure how to do that. I don't really pay attention to the currency pairs. He's saying that's the reason for the fall. It very well could be. I'm not sure. This is interesting stuff. Exchange with the regular price. Okay. Yeah. Well, again, if there is manipulation happening, and thanks for the comment, by the way, that's something other people can look into. Like, I'm not by any means the expert on this. This is just my theory on what's going on because I've seen this happen in stocks for years and years and years. And it's a common practice in Wall Street to do this, to blow out, take stops out, just wash out the small traders who are leveraged. But I'm putting these comments up here so you guys can check this out too and see what you think. If you want to look at this additional theory on, hey, this is a currency situation. They are, not, I don't know how to look, to be honest with you, bro. I would pull it up, but I'm not even sure how to do that. to pull up the different currency pairs. I'm sure it's not that difficult, but I'm not going to sit here and try to figure it out on this video. So that's why I'm putting your comments up here so people can check it out if they want to. There's probably going to be more information coming out. Some of the guys who are really, really ahead of things on this, like Crypto Capital Ventures, you guys know George, Cryptos R Us, Altcoin Daily. There's some really like plugged in guys on the Bitcoin side who will probably have more answers, more data on what's happening here as this time goes on. But it's Sunday, this happened late last night. So I want to make a video and just, talk about this and say, hey, this is what it looks like to me. And I certainly wouldn't get bearish on Bitcoin yet, or sell your coins by any means. I think it makes a lot more sense right here to be patient, maybe buy a little bit, be ready to buy some more, be ready for more tactics like these, and just expect that Bitcoin will be under attack in a new way now. And it's going to require more patience, more HODL. It's going to require more. You're going to have to be stronger. And yeah, I think it could go to 50K. Absolutely. I mean, it got down to 51 and that, it could get into the 40s. I think they could totally move it there. And if it does, remember, you're still above some of those important moving averages in the bull market. It really doesn't change anything. The best thing for most people would honestly be if you're one of the people who has all the Bitcoin that you want. In other words, you hate this dip because you've already got all the Bitcoin you could possibly want. Then you really shouldn't look at the price. The best thing you can do is just don't look at it, or maybe look at it once a week, or just don't look at it every day. If you're like me and you don't have all the Bitcoin you want yet, then you should welcome this. You should welcome this. It's an opportunity to buy. All right, guys. Hopefully that's helpful. Thank you for the comments. Giants fans, this is putting some really good stuff in here for people to check out. So I suggest that you take a look at that. So when that happens, be prepared, folks. HODL on. See you guys soon.